Good evening. Welcome to I'll Talk to You. My name is Les, spirit name I'll Talk. In today's video, we'll be performing an annual energy reading into the Divine Feminine Collective. This is my self created ECSIS Tree of Life. It intends to uncover hidden, unconscious, or shadow aspects of the focus of the reading. And for today, the reading's focus will be the Divine Feminine Collective. So this will function as an overall or overview reading for the entire year of 2025 until 2026. So let's get started shuffling the cards. To tell you more about ECSIS Tree of Life, the entire tree is imaged in the thumbnail of this video. That intends to be the structure of the tree. Each layer refers to a different area or aspect of life, beginning with the self and ending with the spirituality. The base of the tree is a 13 card layer, and that intends to function as an overall, or yes, as an overall message for the reading. It could directly relate back to the reading itself, meaning the previous 12 layers, or it could just be a need to know for the focus of the reading, either from spirit guides, your higher self, whichever divine forces the reading's focus intends to rely on. I am going to begin again because I did accidentally pick up a card that I intended to accept in the reading. So I'm going to reshuffle the cards and begin the tree again. this is a 55 card tarot spread, so it is going to take some time to pull all of the cards. But when I'm almost finished pulling the card layers, I'll begin interpreting. I also want to say Happy New Year and Happy Vernal Equinox for everyone and everyone who celebrates. Also, Happy Aries season to all of the Aries. I also am personally an Aries. Please excuse me for a moment. As I'm getting closer to ending the card pull, just to tell you about the different layers of the tree. The first layer is going to be beginning with the self. This is going to be the overall impression that you are experiencing or expressing overall for the entire year. The second layer is going to be your external self or your other self. Essentially, this is going to be your most closely connected divine partner or partnership. That could be a person, place, thing, or situation. The third layer is going to be the dynamic between the first and second layer. It's essentially the creation out of the partnership between yourself and your other self, your external self. It's going to be the result of the interaction between layer 1 and layer 2. Layer 4 has to do with your personal satisfaction, your internal happiness. It could also refer back to your personal family or your close friends. Essentially, with that being the fourth layer, it draws upon the ideals and archetype of Cancer astrologically, which is also represented by 4. So it's essentially the area of your life that makes you feel most comfortable. This is where your internal happiness is definitely going to be expressed, or at least your sense of internal happiness. And layer 5 is going to be the mutual dynamic of yourself and your internal happiness, or your family or close friend dynamic. So essentially how you feel about what you're experiencing within the areas of level 4. Level 6 is going to be, or I'm sorry, okay, level 5 is not, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Level 5 is not the mutual dynamic between you and between level 1 and level 4. Level 5, okay, level 4 is going to be the more internal and intimate experience that level 1 is perceiving. Level 5 is going to be the external experience level 1 is perceiving. So level 4 is going to be what's immediately going on around you, divine feminine, which you are going to be, you yourself is represented by level 1. Level 4 is the more immediate dynamic, so that could be your family, close friends, or your internal satisfaction. Level 5 is going to be the external influence around you. So this could be acquaintances, general people that you know, or people, places, or things that are in your general vicinity, but don't have a deeper or more intimate connection to you, essentially. And level 6 is going to be that interaction between yourself and your external self. Level 7 refers to other external relationships. This could be romantic relationships. I was combining romantic and emotional. This could be romantic relationships. This could also be mutually agreed partnerships. And level 8 is going to be the mutual relationship between level 1 and level 7. So how you are feeling about the partnership dynamics that you're experiencing within level 7. Level 9 is going to reflect back as well to astrology, to the ideals and archetype of Jupiter and Sagittarius. Level 9 is essentially going to be your religious self. So, how you consciously are interacting with your spirituality. And level 10 is going to be the mutual relationship between that. So, how is it that you egoically feel about what you are spiritually um, interpreting and experiencing? Level 11 is going to be, it can represent, level 11 will also reflect the astrological ideals and archetypes of the sign that's represented by 11, which is going to be Aquarius and Uranus. That dynamic refers to, it can relate to friendships. I have personally decided to include friendships as being more directly related to level 4, which is the ideals of Cancer. Just because I feel that close friendships can also resemble familial dynamics. So level 11 is more so a broader expanse upon friendships. It's going to be your general social dynamic. This could also be any divine or higher forces that are wanting to interact with you, but may not have direct access to you. So it's essentially the social dynamic that seems to occur and influence around you in a more broader sense. And level 12 is going to be the mutual relationship between level 1 and level 11. Essentially, how you respond to the spiritual forces or to the social connections that are presented to you. And the base of the tree, which is going to be the final and 13th layer, is going to be, it really acts as higher self messages. So it could reflect back to themes presented in the first 12 layers of the tree, or it could be general advice that your higher self or your higher forces are wanting you to know. Thank you for the patience waiting for these cards. It's a total of 55 cards, so it's almost the entire deck, really. So that's why the shuffling process is so time consuming. But the reading itself is intended to energetically cover an entire year. So the elements of the reading should be reflected for the entire next 12 months. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, just two more. Just needing two more good cards, y'all. Okay, so that was the last card needed, and I have not that many cards left. I genuinely wanted this reading style to be very energetically dynamic. I really want deep internal use and benefit from this reading. So that's also why I decided to use so many cards. The energy truly is intended to expand and express for an entire year, and even a bit longer than that is what I sense. The reading can be good for 12 to 18 months. So to finally get into your annual 2025 reading, Divine Feminine, I have divinated my Isis Tree of Life. The it's hard to see from the setup, but the entire tree is indicated by the image and the thumbnail. Each level for the tree is going to relate to a different area of life, beginning from the self, ending with essentially spirituality, and the 13th layer is going to be a higher self message. So it could reflect back to the themes, elements, messages, dynamics that were presented from the first 12 layers of the tree, or it could be an overall general message that your higher self, divine forces are wanting you to know, that could propel you beyond the current year. So, to begin, Divine Feminine, for the next 12 to 18 months, overall, you will be within your Queen of Pentacles dynamic. I'm very happy that a feminine card presented for you because this is a Divine Feminine reading. And so I'm glad that just right off the bat, the first card is reflecting that this is going to be a feminine energy. Towards the beginning of the reading, I did have a slip up with pulling cards, and so I had to begin the tree again. But the card that presented for your self the first time around, or attempted to present the first time around, was the Nine of Pentacles. So Pentacles is definitely the suit that is going to have a significance for you for this next year. Pentacles refers to material possessions, physical surroundings, or life satisfaction in general. Um, with this card being upright, you are going to be experiencing satisfaction, happiness, success, influence within your material possessions, physical dynamics, or life satisfaction. Intuitively, I feel that this has to do specifically with life satisfaction. So there's not significant material possessions or a physical place that is going to be a focus for you. It's going to be your overall life satisfaction. I feel, Divine Feminine. Um, you're happy with where you're at in life. You're happy with what you have in life, and you're working on deepening your, not only your satisfaction to what you're experiencing in your life currently, but your connection to what you're experiencing. The queens in any of the suits, not just the Queen of Cups, but the queens are going to have a more deeper and intimate connection and interaction with the things going around them, more so than the kings, the knights, or the pages. Queens very closely connect to people, places, and things that are in their general vicinity. Historically, at least the way I feel, queens were intended to be the people connector within the the royal or ruling dynamic. Kings had a more active role within governing and overseeing life, living, and society. Queens, I feel, took a more personal role in connecting to the people that they oversaw or quote unquote ruled over. Um, the king made sure that general life and living was, or access to general life and living was supplied. And I feel the queen made sure that the people were happy, people were comfortable, that people were able to be themselves and to express more of themselves and to grow themselves personally and socially. So the kings had a more physical role, whereas the queens have a more social role, just um, how I interpret. So overall, just from the first card, I really don't feel that the next year is going to be a difficult year. It feels very calm, especially because Pentacles is can also refer to Earth um, energy and dynamics. So this card feels very grounding. It really feels like that you essentially are growing more confident in yourself and your life and your living. And um, I mean, there's really nothing more I can indulge on with this dynamic. I think it's very straightforward and clear. You're satisfied with your life and with the things that you have. You're just needing to be more comfortable with them and more connected to them, essentially. Now, with your external or other self, this is essentially your most closely aligned divine partner or partnership. This could be a person, place, thing, or situation. But the dynamic for this, external self is going to be the Two of Swords and the Ten of Wands. This is indicating to me that this divine partner is actually not in a state to be in partnership with you directly. I feel that this doesn't feel the energy dynamic doesn't feel to be romantic. But if this is a romantic connection, because oftentimes divine feminine um, will romantically or just inherently romantically connect with a partner. If this is for a romantic dynamic, the other partner is unable to physically bring in the partnership. They are needing to balance themselves more. Um, Mentally, it feels that there is some kind of external situation going on around them that doesn't allow them to bring focus or attention to other areas. They're needing to focus just on themselves, as indicated by the Two of Swords. The Two Suits refers to, for me, the way I interpret refers to self interaction. And with this Ten of Wands, this is indicating that whatever the situation that's going on that's needing them to rebalance, reharmonize, and ground themselves mentally is going to be a difficult situation that requires diligence, perseverance, and active effort, as indicated by this Ten of Wands. This is a The Wands suit refers to physical effort or action, and with 10 being the number of completion, this indicates that there is full force towards whatever the situation is. So, um, this divine partner, whether it's a person, place, or thing. I feel because that romantic dynamic was wanting to come out, I feel that for some divine feminines, this is going to be a romantic partner um, who is needing to work on themselves. But because the swords refers to mental pursuits, the wands refers to physical pursuits. With these two being together, this can also indicate to me that this could be a work or working um, situation that's wanting to come through or that's wanting to be expressed. Within that dynamic, if it is a work situation, um, this Two of Swords can indicate that the dynamic of the work environment may not have been um, mentally accepting, embracing, or inclusive as it could be, but it's starting to come together in order to work effectively with this Two of Swords, and it's in the upright. And this is something that will happen, will come to fruition, will be completed as indicated by the Ten of Wands. And so it's interesting that just from um, what I was, the impression I was receiving from this second level, indicating that the partnership is not ready to be brought in, I feel that's definitely reflected by this level three. Level three is going to be, the way I interpret numerologically, I interpret at one numerologically being the origin or the original creator. 2 numerologically is going to be the other creator, so a second creator, or essentially the divine partnership or divine partner of 1 numerologically, because 2 itself is 1 and 1. So essentially, it's 1 partnered with itself. That's how I numerologically interpret the number 2. And 3 is going to be the creation between 1 and 2, because 1 and 2 added together does make 3. So, with that being said, I'm stating that to indicate that that's also reflects the interpretation of this level 3. It's going to be the interacting relationship between level 1 and level 2, or the creation between level 1 and level 2. So level 1 and level 2 together creates the dynamic of level 3. And the cards that have presented to indicate this are the Temperance in reverse, the Emperor in reverse, and the Lovers in reverse. The Lovers is my divine partnership card. So for this to reflect back to the dynamic between you, yourself, and your divine partner is definitely significant, and affirming and confirming for me as a reader. But with this Temperance in the reverse, the Temperance and the Lovers, both are indicating that, are reaffirming what I was picking up, that the partnership is not yet ready to be brought in. With this Temperance in the reverse, it feels that one or both of you are needing to take time for yourselves. And with me saying that, I really feel that it's going to be the divine partner, whether this was a person, place, or thing, but this other self that you are most closely aligned with, they or it is needing to go within themselves and to experience greater spiritual expansion, but they're needing to do so in a patient and tempered manner. That's what the Temperance in reverse is indicating. Um, Patience is needed, in order for this connection to expand and grow into what it should be. With this Emperor in the reverse, this is indicating that maybe someone or something is being too forceful in their approach. And I'm interpreting that based on the Ten of Wands that presented with within the dynamic of your other self. The Ten of Wands, as I stated earlier, does indicate perseverance and diligence towards a particular goal. However, in a negative aspect, someone could be too forceful in their attempts or too controlling, and that is the dynamic of the Emperor in reverse. Someone who is behaving as a tyrant, someone who has too much or is wanting too much control over the things that they have and are also around them, the things that they're experiencing. Um, they're wanting to establish and maintain too much control over the things that are outside of their control. And with this Lovers in reverse, this is indicating that the the dynamic and the direction that this other self is currently on is actually, I feel, forcing the connection further apart, is what I intuitively am sensing. which is why this Lovers is presented in reverse. It's whatever the situation that your other self is experiencing that they're wanting to have this Ten of Wands, this force and control over, it it causes this other self, this divine partner, to behave and to essentially exist even further away from the divine connection. Um, so you, divine feminine, you are in a good and decent place. You're needing to more um, connect more deeply with where you're at in your life, with what you have in your life currently. But your divine partner has some more work, more spiritual with this temperance and deeper work and effort that they're needing to put and make in order for this divine partnership to be physically manifested. Now for how should I do this? Now, level 4 of the dynamic refers back to generally the ideals and archetypes that Cancer represents. Cancer astrologically is represented by 4 as well. For the sake of my reading, this could be general personal satisfaction. This could also reflect back to family dynamics or close friendship dynamics. It's essentially the parts of your life and of yourself that you feel most intimately closest to, most emotionally connected to. So this could be your internal self, which would reflect what I was stating as the general life satisfaction, or it could be your family and friends. But the cards that have presented for you, divine feminine, for your level 4 are the Two of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. So I feel this has a more um, person dynamic. Um, I feel that this dynamic, intuitively, I feel that this dynamic is going to refer to the people closest to you. There isn't a specific indicator if this is specifically family or if this is specifically friends. So I feel that this is just, it's going to be both family and or friends. And honestly, those two terms can be used interchangeably because your family can be your friends and your friends can be your family. But the dynamic of this external being or beings, um, they are physically working on themselves, as indicated with this Two of Wands. I stated before that Wands is going to be the physical effort suit, and 2 is going to be a self satisfaction or self interacting dynamic for the suits. So it feels that this external force being, which I feel is going to be family and or friends for you, they they're focused on expanding and improving themselves physically while also maintaining consistent interaction and socialization with you, as indicated by the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords can have a number of meanings, but intuitively, what I'm picking up is this is going to be a consistent mental interaction. Eight numerologically is a number of infinity, continuity, continuation, consistent moving. And swords is going to be the mental suit. So with this Eight of Swords, this is indicating to me that while whomever this dynamic um, specifically refers to, and that can be just, excuse me, um, the people that right away come to you and to your mind, divine feminine, because this is a collective reading. So for you to personally connect, the people that come to mind when I state family and or friends, they are needing to physically work on themselves, but they are choosing to maintain consistent connection and interaction with you, while also embracing the emotional connection and closeness between the two of you, as indicated with this Four of Cups. The four suits are going to be partnership cards, for the way I interpret. So emotionally, um, emotionally and communicatively, there doesn't seem to be any disruption between you and your close friends and family. It feels that the dynamic is currently good and healthy because you two have this emotional connection with the Four of Cups. But you also, at least this external being, is also making effort for themselves to maintain connection with you, as indicated by this Eight of Swords, while also still focusing and working on themselves. They're not neglecting themselves in any way, as indicated by this Two of Wands. And with this Page of Pentacles, this is indicating that there is mutual happiness within this dynamic. Um, Not only mutual happiness, but mutual satisfaction for what is. There is room for growth, for maturity within the dynamic, within the connection, meaning that you and this being, or the beings indicated, if it's one or more than one being, the dynamic has room to grow and expand into a deeper connection, because currently the dynamic, at least how this being or these beings perceive you, divine feminine, is going to be indicated with the Page of Pentacles. This is someone who has mature, clear, focused intention, but who isn't yet mature enough to understand how to effectively um, complete the intentions that they have and hold. But this is someone who generally is lighthearted and um, good feeling. I want to say I'm having. I always have a hard time interpreting the page, because the page dynamic can go a few different ways. But generally, the page is someone who is not as mature as they could be, but they are a very lighthearted, loving, and lovable person. I really feel that there is like there's a deeper interpretation wanting to come through for this card. Okay, it's just indicating. Um, oh wow, I'm seeing now. All four suits is represented within all these cards. You have Wands, Swords, Cups, and Pentacles. So this dynamic is actually very good, and I don't want to say completely full and whole, but it definitely has potential to be a very strong connection, because this connection has presented within all four suits. This is every possible way to connect with someone, physically with the pentacles, emotional with cups, mentally with swords, and intentionally with the wands. Um, you, divine feminine, intend to fully connect um, with this friends and family connection. So whoever that you have around you, or whatever that you have immediately around you, um, the dynamic that makes you feel most comfortable, the dynamic that you are most intimately connected to, it's a very strong dynamic. And what I'm picking up from these cards, there's really nothing more that either of you need to do to grow or to deepen the connection, as long as the two of you stay on whatever course that you currently are on. That itself will innately down the road deepen the connection. This connection is intended to expand and evolve on its own, and it certainly will, especially with this page. Um, Presenting, the page is going to be the more active initiator between any of the um, court cards, the knight, queen, or king, because he has a more youthful dynamic. He is youthful in general. This is going to be the youngest, or the youngest court card, and that's why I stated about the level of maturity earlier, where he's not as mature, but that's just because he's so youthful, essentially. Now, that was for the more intimate or close relationships. For the external influences, the cards that have presented for you are going to be the Four of Wands reverse, the Four of Swords upright, Two of Pentacles reverse, the Ace, or excuse me, the Six of Swords reverse, and the Knight of Swords. So for this to indicate the external influence around you, with this Four of Wands in the reverse, this is indicating that whatever this external influence physically is for you, and it will vary depending on you specifically, since this is a collective reading. Whatever this external influence is, it actually is not working with or for you. As I stated before, the four suits are going to be my partnership indicators for the way I interpret. Wands is going to be the physical effort suit, and so this Four of Wands in reverse is indicating that this external dynamic is not in working alignment with you personally, divine feminine. However, it mentally or problematically works, or functionally works. It really feels that this dynamic, since this is going to be the external force or influence, the way the Four of Wands reverse and the Four of Swords, the energy is indicating to me, it really feels that it's almost like you physically are in a situation you don't want to be in, but you can't not be in the situation because it's too effective or it's too efficient. It functionally works well for you, but maybe emotionally or satisfactorily, it doesn't suit or satisfy you because physically there is a disconnect within the interaction because this Four of Wands is in the reverse. Now, with this Two of Pentacles in reverse, I really feel that whatever the situation is, it's not physically intended to be the way that it is. It functionally works, but there's something physically about it that does not want to be in its current state. Um, to reiterate, the two suits, the way I interpret, refers to self-satisfaction or self-interaction. And so for this Two of Pentacles in reverse to present within the energy dynamic of this external influence or external force, this again indicates that even with this external force as itself, it doesn't want to physically be, but it simply is because it fulfills some kind of functional intention, as indicated by this Four of Swords, but there is going to be at least a feeling of dissatisfaction around and about whatever this external force is physically, however it's physically manifested as. Now with the Six of Swords in the reverse, this really feels, even though this Four of Swords is in the upright, the Six of Swords is indicating to me that this situation really cannot evolve more than what it currently is. And I feel that it cannot evolve more than what it currently is because it only is what it is because it has to be, not because it wants to be. But the Six of Swords upright would have indicated a moving forward, a growth, an expansion beyond a period of change or a period of disconnect. Yet with this card being in the reverse, this is indicating that this growth, this expansion is not happening and cannot happen. Now with this Knight of Swords in the upright, following this dynamic, I really feel that this is to indicate that this situation exists because it has to exist. It almost feels like it's forced to exist. The Knight court is someone who's a bit more mature than the page, but the knight is not as mature as the king or queen, nor does the knight have the same focus, direction, and intention as the page. The knight has a tendency of being a bit selfish or more self-centered, or if not to that extent, to be not as caring and compassionate as the other court cards. And so I feel that this Knight of Swords is presenting within this dynamic to indicate that whatever this situation physically is, it's something that is not maturely expansive. I'm really trying to pick up the dynamic, and it's a little challenging for me to pick up this specific dynamic because I really feel that this, what I'm intuitively sensing this external forces, it's going to be the general societal environment that you divine feminine are experiencing. The social climate of where and who you are doesn't deeply satisfy you, nor does it work for you, nor is it working in your interest, is the overall impression that I'm getting from this. I really feel that there is deeper messages wanting to come through, but I don't think that I'll be able to pull the messages for the sake of this reading. This really feels like there may be a separate reading that needs to be completed um, to get a deeper understanding for this dynamic. But to move into level 6, this is going to be the working relationship or the mutual interaction between level 5 and level 1. So essentially how you feel about this external, um, I want to say external force or external situation. But the cards that have presented are the Hermit upright, the Chariot, the Five of Wands, excuse me, the Five of Wands upright, the Six of Wands reverse, the Three of Wands reverse, and the Two of Cups reverse. Oh wow. So I absolutely love when later cards confirm the impressions I pick up on previous cards. The same happened with level 3, confirming the dynamic I was picking up regarding level 2. But this level 6 is confirming the dynamic that I was picking up regarding level 5. With the Hermit in the upright, this is indicating that your interaction, level 1's interaction with level 5, so you interacting with these external influences causes you to go within yourself. You're hermiting. You genuinely don't want to deeply interact with this external influence. You don't want to deeply interact if you want to interact at all, which I feel that you genuinely do not want to interact at all because of this Hermit in the upright, and it's the first card that to present for the dynamic. So this is going to be the significant card for this energy dynamic. You genuinely do not want to interact with whatever this is going on, and that's what I was picking up with in regards to specifically the Four of Wands reverse. With this Chariot in the upright, this is also indicating that not only do you not want to physically interact and connect with this situation, with this dynamic, you want to move beyond it. The Chariot refers to growth and expansion, usually through some kind of significant change. That change could also be physical relocation. I don't intuitively sense that this is directly referring to physical relocation, but you do want to to experience this external force and influence significantly different than what you currently are, as indicated with this Chariot. And the Five of Wands immediately following this reinforces you are wanting to make physical changes towards how you interact with this situation. The five numerologically is the number of change. Wands is going to be the suit of physical effort. So this is indicating that you physically are interacting differently with the dynamic it's referring to. And in this case, the dynamic is the mutual interaction between you and this external force or influence. However, with this, okay, okay. With the Six of Wands in reverse, similar interpretation from the Six of Swords in reverse. And it's funny that um, this card, they're in the same position. They're in the fourth card position, but also the way that I line up the cards, they are almost I want to say they're almost in the same position, but they are in the same position because they're the fourth card each. So I think that's a significant as well. And four is actually my spirit number. It's a significant spiritual number for me. So for these to have significant meanings and messages on their own, but also for them to be placed in a spiritual placement, or for them to have a placement that has spiritual significance for me as the reader, I really feel is a spiritual indicator and confirmation for the reading. But the Six of Wands in the reverse, following this Five of Wands, is indicating that even if you make physical changes with and towards this dynamic, it's not going to go anywhere. This dynamic, as I was picking up from interpreting the cards of a level five itself, it really feels that this dynamic is not meant to grow and expand and exist beyond what it currently exists. And I really feel that the way it currently exists does not want to, spiritually, does not want to physically be at all. I think that this situation exists because it happens to exist, because for whatever reason, it functionally works, but it's not emotionally, mentally, or spiritually wanted. It just happens to that there are at the time no other options for whatever this dynamic intends to complete or fulfill. Now, with this Three of Wands in reverse, this is indicating that this again reinforces that the dynamic does not work. The Three of Wands and the upright would have indicated a working physical relationship or interaction between you and this, excuse me, this external force. The Three of Wands would have would indicate a successful collaboration and interaction between the two of you. But because this card has presented in the reverse, this is indicating that even if you try to make yourself work with the situation, or if you try to see the benefit within the situation, it simply does not exist. It simply cannot happen. And with this Two of Cups in reverse, I really feel that I stated that this has to do with, I say the two suits has to do with a self-satisfaction or interaction, because this card is presented within a level that is specifically for mutual connection, because level 6 is intended to be the connection between level 1 and level 5. I feel that both ends of the dynamic emotionally do not want this interaction. You, divine feminine, emotionally are not satisfied or wanting this external situation, and at the same time, this situation itself doesn't want it to exist. The impressions that I'm getting from this dynamic is this is really a situation that exists out of necessity and not out of want. This is a situation that currently feels is needed because there are no other alternative situations to what currently is. Um, so it really feels that in order to grow beyond this situation, this dynamic, something new has to be created that can replace whatever this current situation is. It has to be something entirely new, something entirely different, um, that can replace this. But this situation, as indicated multiple times, with the Six of Swords, the Six of Wands, even this Four of Wands um, reverse, and the Two of Cups in reverse, this situation is not wanted, but it is needed at the time. And not, and it's not even genuinely needed. It's needed because it fulfills certain intentions, but it's not needed in that it has to exist. If an alternative situation existed, then this current situation would not be in existence, because it would at that point be obsolete. It wouldn't even, this situation isn't genuinely or deeply needed or wanted. It just happens to be. Now, to get into the dynamics of level 7, yeah. So the cards that have, I don't know how I want to display this. The cards that are presented for level 7, and level 7 is going to refer to partnerships or more distant relationships than from the interactions of level 4, which would be family and close friends or intimate connections. This is going to be personal connections that are not deeply or intimately influencing you, essentially. So, just general connections, relationships, and interactions. This could be acquaintances, coworkers, neighbors, um, people you meet online, just general um, connections um, that don't have a close or intimate significance for you. With, sorry, I hadn't looked at the cards yet, but the first card is the death card. Um, I'm sorry, I don't think I stated the cards. The cards that are presented are the death upright, the strength reverse, the sun upright, the king of swords, the king of cups, and the hierophant. So with this death card in the upright, I interpret this um, as a significant change to how this dynamic physically expresses or presents itself to you. It could be that you emotionally are feeling disconnected from your more distant connections and relationships, divine feminine. Um, with this death card in the upright, it really feels that the social connections around you are genuinely no longer satisfying you emotionally the way that you want to be satisfied. And so, because they are not satisfying you, they themselves are undergoing ego death. I don't feel that, and I'm not saying that to mean that the specific people that this dynamic refers to individually are undergoing ego death, but the overall dynamic of your um, distant or more distant partnerships or relationships, the dynamic itself is undergoing ego death. You're reestablishing essentially, or this dynamic is establishing how it looks to you um, physically, but also like how it physically manifests, but also emotionally and mentally how it's connected to you, which is why I was stating I really feel that you could be experiencing an emotional disconnect from um, the more distant or not as close social connections that you currently have. With this strength card in the reverse, this is indicating that it's actually a very easy decision to undergo this ego death, to undergo this change in perception. It's not difficult for this dynamic to have change, for this ego death isn't as strenuous or demanding as personal ego deaths can be, um, which is why I also wanted to reinforce before that this death refers to the overall dynamic. It does not refer to personal or individual ego death. This is just death of the way the dynamic feels, essentially. However, with the Sun card and the upright, this does indicate that even though this dynamic change is occurring, it is doing so for the better. Currently, you may have emotional and or mental disconnect with your acquaintances or general friends or neighbors or coworkers, just whichever social dynamic feels most relevant to you. Since this is a collective reading, you do have to use your own personal intuition and interpret using your own personal experience. But the social connections currently feel that they are not as connecting or they're not as attractive to you, but they soon will be with the Sun in the upright. This is indicating that there will be genuine expression of the self, but also a creation or, yes, a creation or an improvement upon of happiness. The the Sun is the energetic creator and origin of all within our solar system, at least. And so everything that we experience comes from the Sun, and specifically, or most significantly, that has to do with happiness and positive or more positive emotions, whereas the moon um, would govern the less or the more negative or less positive aspects with emotional expression. But the Sun has a more positive, or at least a more higher energetically, or energetically higher dynamic and interaction. Now, with the King of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Hierophant, especially following what I was sensing with the Sun card, I really feel that over the course of the next year, your friendships or just your social connections in general will deepen, will mature, and will better emotionally and mentally align with you, as indicated by this King of Swords. Um, because this is the dynamic of the friendships or the social connections themselves, I feel the King of Swords and the King of Cups are presented because the Kings have a more assertive presence than the other court cards. And so I really feel that the Kings themselves are presenting within this dynamic to indicate that there is going to be a more assertive, a more consciously perceived interaction and connection between you and this situation. But because the Kings are presenting for this within the energy of this dynamic itself, I feel that others are going to be the ones initiating deeper connection with you versus you initiating deeper connection with others. Yes, and especially because this death card presented on, again, this these social connections in. The social connection is the one experiencing this ego death. The disconnect that you are experiencing between yourself and less distant, or I'm sorry, more distant social connections, whether it's on your end or their end, regardless, it's going to be the others who initiate deeper connection with you, because they are presenting as the King of Swords and the King of Cups. Um, I really feel that I was, in a general sense, I was picking up this dynamic has to do with co-workers or some type of working connection and relationship. Um, but the swords suit does refer to mental connection. It could also refer to problem solving and being calculating. And so I interpret that as sort of working relationship, because you connect more with your coworkers in a mental regards than in other regards, because the two of you have to functionally work together. But with the King of Cups as well, this is again indicating that this other dynamic, whatever the social forces are around you, they are the ones that are going to initiate the deepening between within the emotional connection between the two of you. And with this Hierophant and the upright, I really feel that whatever this dynamic is, however it physically looks for you, will eventually evolve into something that is genuinely for you and will fully work for you, with you, and in your favor. Please excuse me. The Hierophant refers to um, values, beliefs, traditional systems. Um, so anything that allows you to feel as if you have structured existence. That's what traditions are. Traditions are essentially aspects in our lives that allow us to feel some kind of maintained continuation. It's essentially what gets one generation to the next generation. And so with this card presenting within this dynamic, I really feel that even though your current perception is not as satisfactory for you or is not as beneficial for you, it will evolve into something that you would want to interact with and to have a consistent connection with. Um, the Hierophant card can also indicate marriage, and so I feel this is going to be a not a traditional um, interaction or a traditional expression of marriage, but a symbolic marriage, essentially. You're going to be in consistent, successful, and beneficial partnership with your general social connections within the next year, is what I'm picking up from this dynamic. Currently, since this death card is in the upright and then the strength card is in the reverse, currently the situation doesn't look attractive to you, but the situation itself will evolve itself into something that is going to be attractive to you. So there's not anything that you need to do about your current social interactions. And that's based on this current um, dynamic, but also the dynamic from your level 4, your personal satisfaction, family, and or friends as well. That dynamic was also very good. So if it was from personal and less personal social connections, it feels that you divine feminine are in a good place yourself um, for the dynamics of those connections. For level 8, this is going to be the mutual interaction between level 7 and level 1. So basically how you feel about the the social connections that are around you, um, the less intimate social connections around you, at least. The cards that have presented are the Page of Swords, the Empress, the Judgment reverse, the Devil reverse, and the Eight of Wands reverse. Okay. So I was picking up that the dynamic of level 8 has to do or had to do with more co-working or working type relationships, and I feel that that's supported by this Page of Swords. I think that's going to be the predominant dynamic that most divine feminines will be able to connect with. But again, um, the energy dynamic, it will look differently from person to person since this is a collective reading. But I feel that generally more divine feminines will interpret or could resonate with that dynamic as it relates to working connections or co-worker connections. And so with this Page of Swords presenting, this is indicating that you are taking a more mental approach and perspective with this dynamic. You're wanting to be more intentional and calculating in how you interact with the dynamic um, of level 8. And so because this Page of Swords, that's why I was also that's why this is also reaffirming to me as a reader that the dynamic may more so have to do with coworker connections, since this is the swords suit. But of course, you can interact with anything or anyone in a mental capacity. It doesn't have to be just someone that you physically work with. But regardless, whatever the dynamic is physically for you personally, you are wanting to more mentally with intention and more calculatively. I don't think that's a word, but more calculating. You're going to be more calculating with how you interact with that particular dynamic. And in doing so, that allows you to be more within your divine feminine expression. Because this dynamic is starting to come out, I really feel that Maybe you were needing to deepen your connection with others that you don't feel as closely emotionally connected to, in order for you to better embrace and express your emotional being, you being the Empress. This is the Divine Feminine card. And so for this to be a Divine Feminine reading, and the Divine Feminine card is presenting within this dynamic, this level, this is for level 8, which is the mutual interaction between level 1 and level 7. So essentially, you and your non-intimate social connections, you were needing to more deeply, or at least more intentionally, connect with these others in order for you to better embrace and express your true, deeper emotional side. However, with the Judgment in the reverse, okay, I okay, okay, okay. I was trying to pick up the intentions of the remaining card dynamics, but I understand now. The Judgment in the reverse is indicating the Judgment and the Devil are both indicating to me that the dynamic, this interaction, okay. So these were the cards for this non-intimate social connection. Um, the Judgment and the Devil are indicating to me that this situation, this connection, has the has or had the potential to be a karmic connection. I really feel that the karmic connection was avoided because these others, whether the people you were connected to before chose to disconnect themselves from you, or they chose to alter themselves in some way, regardless, the dynamic of what you're experiencing changed, and for the better, because this death card is presented in the upright. But had this death not occurred, I really feel that this dynamic would be something that would be considered a karmic situation, because this Judgment and Devil presented in the reverse within the mutual interaction between you and this dynamic, I really feel that it's to indicate that you were avoiding, or you have avoided, a karmic potential. With the Judgment in the reverse, the Judgment in the reverse can indicate that someone has avoided learning a lesson in order to grow and expand. I I really feel that this lesson was avoided because the lesson didn't have to occur at all. This dynamic corrected itself for you by experiencing this ego death. And so I feel that this Judgment is more so reflecting that dynamic, as well as this Devil in the reverse. The Devil upright is a karmic connection, a situation that is not emotionally or mentally healthy for you, that allows you, but still allows you to see shadow aspects of yourself or shadow aspects around you. Because this is in reverse, I really feel that these two cards have presented in reverse to indicate that this could have been an emotionally and mentally harmful, toxic situation for you. But because it corrected itself out, you were able to avoid this. Now, with the Eight of Wands in reverse, this feels as if you are going to maintain the status quo of the connection as it will overall or will finalize as. Because this reading is to encompass the entire um, year upcoming, this could be a dynamic that is currently happening, or this could be a dynamic that will soon happen within the the next year time frame. Um, and I feel me saying that was wanting to come out because I do feel that this is a situation that physically will be happening within the next year. Your non-intimate social connections will be stabilizing. You won't feel as disconnected with them. You will avoid a karmic relationship or interaction with this connection, and it does have the potential to do so because this judgment and devil are in the reverse. Um, okay. What I was when I first started reading into level 7, I was getting that you don't have you feel a disconnect with the situation, or you don't have a deeper or a deep emotional connection with the situation. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was trying to go somewhere with that. I'm so sorry. Um, okay, but I guess to continue, the Eight of Wands and the upright would indicate consistent physical interaction or working towards someone. With it being in the reverse, it could be interpreted as um, they're not being consistent interaction, or it could be that it could also be interpreted that you're not even wanting to have physical interaction with this connection. But the way I am interpreting based on the preceding dynamic, this is indicating that you're simply content with this dynamic existing the way that it exists. You're not necessarily want to directly interact with it, which will indicate the Eight of Wands in the upright. But with this being in reverse, you don't, I really get the impression that you don't need to interact with it. It's there and available for you because the eight numerologically does refer to infinity, continuity, consistency. So something's staying the same, but you're not physically interacting with this dynamic, with this situation, with this Eight of Wands in the reverse. So the overall impression that I'm getting from this, just based on what I've interpreted from the cards, I feel that this non-intimate social connection, which for a majority of divine feminines may specifically refer to co-workers or co-working connections, it works for you, or it will work for you with this Hierophant card, but it's not something that you are truly deeply emotionally connected to. You will gain deeper connection than what you currently have, as indicated by the King of Swords and King of Cups. However, I did state that it's really more so going to be on the others end. They're the ones that are going to initiate this deeper connection. I really feel that this connection is just going to be just that for you, just the connection. It exists because exists. You yourself aren't particularly invested in the connection, but the connection does exist. And it does allow you to expand upon yourself as a person with this Empress in the upright. The connection does allow you to for whatever reason experience a deeper emotional connection than what you had previously. But I really feel it's just because ooh, okay, I really feel that you're going to grow into this more emotionally mature person because of how you choose to handle yourself within this situation. As I stated before, this situation definitely has the potential to be a karmic connection. For whatever reason, the others, this external connection, they are the ones that are going to evolve the connection itself or themselves and how they present within the connection. And once you see that these others are behaving more maturely, they themselves are um, growing and expanding, that will allow you to also grow and expand because now you don't have to deal with this devil in the upright. You don't even have to deal with this devil in the reverse, the potential to be the devil in the upright. I really feel intuitively, it's not specifically indicated in the cards, but I do intuitively feel that whatever this sticky situation is, and I say sticky because it's not entirely good right now, but it's not entirely harmful. It's a little bit sticky. Um, this situation will unstick itself, and that will allow you to grow and expand because you're not having to deal with a situation like that. Okay, so level 9 is going to reflect the ideals and archetypes of that of its astrological counterpart, which would be Jupiter and Sagittarius. So this is going to be your conscious, the way I describe it, it's your conscious sense of spirituality. It's how you are consciously interacting with your spirituality. And the cards that are presented are the Seven of Cups, the World, the Six of Cups, and the Hanged Man reversed. So with these cards, I do feel that you are going to be growing and expanding upon your spirituality. But it's going to take a little bit of time. With the Seven of Cups, this is first indicating that you're going to, if you haven't already, you will be within the next year at some point experiencing some kind of emotional disconnect with your current experience, um, practice, perception, interaction with your spirituality. You're going to be experiencing an emotional disconnect. It could be that your current practices are no longer for you. It could be that maybe you're outgrowing a practice that you grew up on. Um, there are times, a lot of times, people don't maintain the practice that they were raised upon because essentially anything that we experience growing up, we don't choose to experience those things for ourselves. They happen to be in existence simultaneously with us. And so for things like spirituality practices, people can have practices because that's what they were given, not because it's what they chose. And I really feel that whether this is an old or a perseverant practice that you have, or it's just something that you more recently or later on in life picked up, whatever it is, you're going to be experiencing some kind of disconnect with your spirituality. And in doing so, that's going to allow you to actually seek expansion with the world card and the upright. This is indicating that you're going to be given the opportunity to grow and expand by having new experiences. Um, New experiences that are not familiar to you, that are not um, as clearly or as visibly aligned to you. So it may not appear that it is for you, but it certainly is for you. It may not, it just may not look to be. Um, so essentially, um, this card is someone who is open and embracing to experiencing and accepting new possibilities, new situations. Essentially, if you're not already, just keep yourself open to experiencing something new. Um, that that piece of advice specifically wanted to be channeled through with this card. That's genuinely what the message that I get from this card is to share, to keep yourself open, because the world, well, it can refer to the world, and we live in a big world. So this card can go any which way it wants. But that's why that advice wanted to come through, to keep yourself open, so that way you have the potential to receive any and everything that you need to receive, regardless of if it immediately resonates and connects to and for you. You will be receiving guidance, knowledge, and wisdom from unordinary, at least unordinary to you, sources with this world card. Now, with the Six of Cups, following this world card, this disconnect that you're experiencing with the Seven of Cups will no longer be. With the Six of Cups, 5 numerologically, as I stated before, is a number of change. 6 being one more beyond that indicates a continuation or a renewal of energy following a change. It's essentially how you move forward um, after experiencing that change. So, whatever it is that you'll be learning, receiving with this world card, you will emotionally embrace. As I stated when I was still on this card, um, you will receive guidance and wisdom. It will be for you, even if it doesn't look to be for you. It certainly will be for you, and especially because the Six of Cups immediately follows this world card. I really do love and admire when cards can affirm each other. Essentially, when later messages will confirm and affirm previous messages that have come through. But with this hangman in the reverse, this is indicating that you're still going to have some delay or disconnect with this new experience. To you're wanting to logically look over the situation. You're wanting to logically perceive the situation. However, with the hangman in reverse, this is indicating that you're needing to keep yourself open. You shouldn't try to restrain yourself in any way. The hangman in the upright is someone who intentionally looks at a situation differently in order to better or differently understand it. You're not needing to look at the situation or experience the situation any differently. Whatever is brought to you and however it is brought to you, you're needing to essentially readily accept. The world card is here for a reason. The world wants to give you the world, and you're needing to accept it regardless of how it looks and what it looks like. And I feel because this hangman in reverse came out, it's reaffirming this Seven of Cups that you initially have. Even though you will experience this change, you will be emotionally embracing of it, you're still going to have some hesitancies towards it. And I really feel that it's because the changes that you'll be experiencing are going to be so radical. They immediately will want you to reject them because they're so different from your current existence. But just keep yourself open, divine feminine. Know that what is coming to you for a reason. It has a purpose for you, and even if it doesn't seem so right away, you will experience a satisfaction with what it is that you receive. Now, our level 10 is going to be the mutual relationship between level 1 and level 9. So, how it is that you feel about what it is that you experience with level 9. So, how it is, what you feel about this expansion that you'll be undergoing. So, the cards that have presented are the Nine of Pentacles reverse, the Queen of Wands reverse, and the Ace of Cups reverse. And as I stated before, I am just in awe of how future or later cards will confirm and reaffirm the messages from preceding cards, because I feel that this dynamic definitely reflects what I was picking up on in the advice I was giving from your level 9 cards. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse is indicating that you have potential to have and experience genuine happiness with the physical manifestations of this dynamic. But with this being in the reverse, you're essentially rejecting that. The Nine of Pentacles is presenting it all because this certainly has happiness potential in a physical capacity, because the Pentacles does refer to physical manifestations, but also physical surroundings and life satisfaction. I feel that this the Pentacles is presenting in this dynamic to indicate the physical changes and interactions you'll experience with this spiritual expansion. So how your life physically has changed, that's or will later look, is what's being indicated with this Pentacles. So the situation has happiness potential, but for whatever reason, you are not experiencing the happiness. And I feel that you're not experiencing the happiness because you're not allowing yourself to do so. With this Queen of Wands in reverse is indicating, again, this is feminine energy. And looking at that Queen of Wands, I think so far, I think the cards that have specifically presented to indicate your dynamic have only been feminine cards, because you now have the Queen of Wands. You begin your overall self for the entire year is going to be the Queen of Pentacles. And within the dynamic of what I interpreted as your coworker connection, or between you and a coworker connection, but again, that could have been any non-intimate social connection. You presented as the Empress. So you, Divine Feminine, are definitely within your feminine dynamic. You at some point will be specifically within your Divine Feminine dynamic, not just general feminine. But I went off on that tangent to affirm that this is you. This is your energy. Um, the wand suit, as I stated before, has to do with physical effort and pursuit. Because this Queen of Wands is in the reverse, you're still, you physically are rejecting, are wanting to reject this change, this expansion that, quite frankly, you need to experience, because with the world in the upright, she's not going to come out for no reason. The universe is not going to bring anything to you for no reason. For the most part, the universe isn't going to present something to you just because, just for fun. So following this Queen of Wands in the reverse, you have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. Not only are you, for whatever reason, you don't physically want to go towards the situation, you don't want to interact with the situation, you emotionally feel that you don't connect with the situation. this new experience is not emotionally attractive for you. Um, and you know what, with me saying that, I think that was the importance of that piece of advice wanting to come out in the world, to keep yourself open to possibility and potential. Because the way you immediately react to this expansion, you reject it. All three of these cards are in the reverse. And they refer to the physical satisfaction, the physical effort towards this situation, and the emotional satisfaction of the situation. And they're all in the reverse. You physically are not wanting to go towards this change, and you emotionally feel aversive to the change. So that piece of energy dynamic feels incomplete, and I think that it is incomplete. Spiritual journeys can take years for some, and so I feel that this aspect within your physical journey is going to extend beyond the time frame of this reading, which is 12 to 18 months. I feel that this expansion is going to exceed more than a year for you. But it is happening. It will happen. This world is in the upright, very much in the upright. Um, you're needing to experience these changes because you have presented in the reverse. If you were accepting and embracing of these changes, you would have presented in the upright. But all of these cards are in the reverse. So you are avoiding, and you had the Seven of Cups initially. You had the Seven of Cups, which is the emotional disconnect. The Six of Cups is indicating that this emotionally is a good and satisfactory situation for you. I just think egoically, because the experience is so different than your current existence, egoically, you're going to reject the situation. But you will work on accepting and embracing the situation over the course of the next year and beyond. Now, for level 11, this is going to be the divine forces and entities that are interacting with you. And so the cards that have presented are the High Priestess and the Ten of Swords. So very significant that this higher being, divine force level, has the spirituality card. The High Priestess is the highest um, spiritual being within the tarot deck. She is the most spiritual being. So with this being the first card of the divine forces that are connected with you, it's the divine force. Your entire journey essentially is divinely connected, and it's going to be something that is, however the next year looks for you, it looks this way for a reason. It's intended to look that way, and it's quite frankly beyond your control um, how the situation looks. This high priestess, whoever she is for you, um, and it doesn't have to be a she for you personally. I'm saying she because I interpret the high priestess as a feminine being, um, where the masculine counterpart would be the magician. I see the magician as being more masculine and the high priestess being more feminine, within the same general dynamic. But your divine forces have created a situation for you for the next year that they themselves are certain of with this Ten of Swords. Um, 10 is the number of completion. The Swords is going to be the mental suit. So there has been a lot of thought taken into the situation. There has been a lot of calculating within the situation. And because this card is presented in the upright, this is indicating that there is confidence and assurance in whatever decisions has been made or will be made. Because I really feel, based on how the energy was feeling with the last two levels of cards, I really feel that that interaction, which would be the area of life dealing with your spirituality, um, is still a work in progress. It's a moving energy for the entire year, essentially. And so it was incomplete because it's still continuing beyond the time frame for this reading. Um, but however that looks was already decided upon by your higher guides, your divine forces, with as indicated with this Ten of Swords. Now, how you feel about your divine forces, your reaction, as indicated with level 12, this is the mutual relationship between level 11 and level 1. So basically, how you feel about what you're perceiving of level 11. The Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. And I think this restates the impressions I was getting from levels 9 and 10. You are physically rejecting what your guides, what your divine forces physically want for you, divine feminine, with this Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. Very similar to the Nine of Pentacles, but the 10 actually refers to full completion of something. So you are rejecting the potential of this experience with this Nine of Pentacles. With the Ten of Pentacles, you are rejecting the experience altogether. And that could also be why the energy was feeling or does feel to be incomplete, um, because it can be completed. You're not allowing it to be completed. You are physically rejecting this situation, divine feminine. Okay. You present it as the Queen of Pentacles for your overall self because the Pentacles is a significance, is going to be the most significant suit for you. You're needing, as I stated at the very beginning, you are needing to better, to deepen your connection with your physical surroundings, your material possessions, and your life satisfaction. And I feel you need to deepen that connection through your spirituality, because you have the, as it relates to spirituality, or within the levels that relate to spirituality, you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, both reversed, that present. So you're definitely needing to, you really do need to expand and grow your spirituality more, divine feminine, and that will allow you for deeper satisfaction. Now, to finally conclude, the base of the tree, this is going to be what your higher self wants you to know. The dynamics of these cards could directly reflect back to specific messages from previous levels of the tree, or it could be just general advice. Your spirit team is wanting you to have, Divine Feminine. So the cards that have presented are the Nine of Wands reverse, King of Pentacles reverse, the Ace of Pentacles reverse, Six of Pentacles, the Justice upright, Five of Swords upright, the Page of Wands upright, Knight of Wands reverse, Nine of Swords upright, Page of Cups reverse, Three of Pentacles upright, Three of Swords upright, and the Nine of Cups in the reverse to finish. Okay. All right. Let's see. Page of Wands. Page of Cups. Cups. Okay. Based on just the general look I was having over the cards, I do feel that the dynamic of this message is going to specifically refer back to your spirituality. I really feel that um, within any connection that you have. So from the cards of level 4, I picked up that you have a good, whole, and healthy relationship with your more intimate connection, so your family and close friends. You don't have the best connection and interaction right now with more distant social connections. For the sake of this reading, I feel that it more so is a dynamic of coworkers for more divine feminines, but it could be coworkers or any non-intimate social connections. So more distant friendships, acquaintances, neighbors, people along those lines, people that you know, but you're not closely familiar with. That relationship currently or recently has not was emotionally disconnected for you, but that um, interaction will be growing and expanding. So socially, it feels that you are in a good or at least decent place, or you will be for this entire year. The work you're needing to do has to do with your spirituality. Those cards were very much so indicating that you had some work to do. You have work to do, and you're avoiding um, the work. And so I feel that the dynamic of these cards is referring back to um, the area of your life regarding spirituality. So with this Nine of Wands in reverse, this is indicating that you are not physically wanting to work towards a goal. It's not indicating, it can indicate a specific goal, right? Cards, the cards have general meanings, the interpretation is really the flow of the card, based on the flow of the cards. And so because you had those cards indicating that you have some hesitancy or disconnect or some kind of blockage that is not allowing you to expand spiritually, um, I really feel that this is the the goal that is the goal that's being referenced with this card. Please excuse me. So yes, the Nine of Wands in reverse is indicating that you're not wanting to put in physical effort towards a goal. And because 10 is the number of completion, with 9 being one short of that, I feel that an aspect of you not wanting to work towards it is because you don't feel confident where you're facing, the direction that you feel you should be going in. I feel that yes, okay. With me saying that, I really feel that that is the disconnection that you're having. You are not confident um, with what you're receiving, essentially. The expansion and the growth that you experience from that world card, you're not sure if it's for you. But that's the thing with spirituality and in the universe, you have to trust and you have to have faith, even if you don't have immediate results. So now, funny, I was saying that because this King of Pentacles, getting into that dynamic of the King of Pentacles in reverse, this is someone who, oh, this is funny. You're the Queen of Pentacles upright, and then your spirit team is advising you about the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Very interesting, Divine Feminine. Um, this is the King of Pentacles in reverse is presenting to indicate that you truly have, um, you're wanting to maintain a sense of control over your material possessions or physical surroundings, how you physically are experiencing and perceiving your life. You're wanting to have control over that, but you're needing to release control. You're needing to, excuse me, you're needing to allow the universe to work for you. You're needing to let go of your current sense of experience, your current sense of reality, and understand that existence doesn't happen because of you. Quite frankly, existence happens with you. And so this King of Pentacles in the reverse is reinforcing that you're wanting to see, what's the how am I wanting to um, articulate this? You have a particular expectation for what you want to physically see in your life, but the expectations you have do not match the intended reality. You're not allowing your true reality and experience to occur because you're so focused with the current experience of your the current presentation of your reality. You're needing a different reality, but for whatever reason you are rejecting it. And I really feel that it's because you have too much attachment and sense of control over your current physical experiences, whether it's how you perceive reality, whether it's what you physically hold on to, or whether it's where you physically are at. But with that world card, that's indicating a significant change to your perspective and to your experience. And I feel that that change is so different, so radical, that you egoically want to immediately reject it. Now, with this Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, this again, it just reaffirms the the previous messages that have come through. The Ace of Pentacles upright would indicate a situation where someone allows themselves to be open to new physical experience. Ace is going to be an energy of creation or new beginning. Pentacles being the physical manifestations, whether it's material possessions, physical surroundings, or life satisfaction. This is going to be a new physical experience. With this being in the reverse, you are not having a new physical experience. And so I feel this is presenting because your spirit team is wanting to warn you about this attachment and this control that you have over your physical experiences. Now, with the Six of Pentacles in the upright, this does indicate success beyond change. So once you are able to embrace and allow the physical change to occur that wants to from that world card, it is going to be beneficial for you. It is going to work out for you. As I stated previous, 5 is a numerological number of change, 6 being one beyond that is a continuation or renewal of energy from change. So it's how you move forward. With this being in the upright, you will be moving forward physically. And I really feel that these pentacles are a significant significance for you. You have the pentacles to come out for your overall self within the levels that deal with your spirituality. You had the Nine of Pentacles present, and then you later had the Ten of Pentacles. Pentacles are a significant suit for you for the upcoming year, Divine Feminine. So it's your material possessions, your physical surroundings, your life satisfaction. And I really feel that specifically it has to do with life satisfaction. How happy you are with where you're at, with what you have. Now, with this Justice in the upright, once you finally accept and embrace the changes that you had been avoiding, you are going to receive karma for essentially the period in which you refuse to embrace this change. The Justice upright is, well, it's when justice is received. um, and so I feel this card is presenting following specifically the Six of Pentacles after these rejecting cards. The Six of Pentacles is you finally accepting, but before then you adamantly reject this expansion once you finally embrace it, you are going to receive, you understand, you receive understanding of why the situation is what it is, how it's genuinely for you. It's within your alignment, but you'll also receive the understanding and the consequences of having rejected this expansion beforehand. So with the Five of Swords, this does indicate that you will have a change in perspective following this justice. It feels that you you do receive um, the understanding of your situation. You not only receive the understanding, but you embrace the understanding. You genuinely understand why your situation has been what it is, and the purpose, the futuristic purpose for your situation. With this Page of Wands um, in the upright, this is going to indicate that you're going to be making some type of physical effort. So whatever it is that the universe has wanted you to experience, to understand the wisdom that you've gained, you're going to be working with it. You're going to be working with it to the best of your ability, but you may not be able to fully embrace it and utilize it to its full capacity, because you have the Knight of Wands in the reverse following this Page of Wands. The Knight is going to be a bit more mature than the Page. He's someone who has a clearer goal than the Page. The Page is someone who's very lighthearted, and they're very initiative, so they can get into projects, into situations, because just on a whim, um, they more so get into situations because they feel that the situations are going to be good, not because they have calculated the situation to be beneficial. Versus the Knight is going to be someone who's more a bit more thought provoking than the Page, someone who's more considerate and who's more gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Someone who's more methodical in their approach. They think about what it is they're going to do, where they're going to go before they do it, whereas the Page can jump into projects, into situations. So you'll finally be open and embracing of this experience your higher forces are wanting you to have. You just won't have an as mature approach to whatever it is that you will soon be experiencing. With the Nine of Swords, this is, um, I think this supports the dynamic I was picking up from this Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands, where you're not going to be as thoughtful in your approach, but you are wanting to be, at least. With this Nine of Swords, this is someone who is diligently working on a mental problem or a mental pursuit, but they're unable to completely resolve the situation that they're working towards. 10 will be the number of completion. 9 is one short of that. So this is indicating diligent work without complete success. It's upright because you do experience some success. You are working towards whatever this situation calls for. It's just you're unable to receive the results that you fully need to receive. Now, with this Page of Cups in reverse, this is reaffirming that you really genuinely have emotional disconnect with this new situation. You were already rejecting the situation physically, and once you do start to physically embrace it, I feel that because you're not seeing the results that you're wanting to see, it does cause you to be emotionally unfulfilled. I really want to say emotionally unstable. The dynamic that mentally came to me, like the visual experience, um, it's it really gives the dynamic of someone who just doesn't have emotional capacity or control anymore over a situation because they're too focused in looking for a specific result and not actually receiving that result, and so they are emotionally suffering because of it. um and I feel that this Page of Cups in reverse is because you you physically allowed yourself to embrace the new experience the universe wanted to give to you, but you have not approached the situation in a mature manner because you initially rejected it. I feel that you only physically accepted it because there was no other option for you, but mentally and emotionally you're still wanting, or maybe not mentally since you have this Nine of Swords, but at least emotionally you're still a bit hesitant about this new experience within your spirituality. However, with the Three of Pentacles and the Three of Swords, you do make effort to maintain and embrace this connection. The three suits are going to be my collaborative group, third party interactions. As I stated very early on, the four suits are my partnership cards. Three, um, the three suits are similar to the partnership dynamic, but it's not a full partnership. That's why I describe it as a collaborative group or third party interaction. It's more so you're working with others, even if you don't have, it's working with others without a deep or purposeful um, connection. So with the Three of Pentacles and the Three of Swords, this is indicating that you're more so, it really feels like you're working around the situation and not necessarily working directly with the situation. You're working with the situation because you're interacting with it, but you're not fully working with the situation. You're not fully embracing the situation. You're only allowing yourself to interact with this experience. You're not actually genuinely wanting the experience for yourself. And with this Nine of Cups in the reverse, and to finish off your reading this way, this is indicating that whatever this experience is, it emotionally is not satisfying you. And I really feel that it's for egoic reasons. I really intuitively, I really sense that you're unable to receive this emotional satisfaction because you're still rejecting how different the the new experience is for you, especially with you being the Queen of Pentacles as your overall self. The dynamic of the pentacle suits, it can indicate someone who holds very strongly onto their physical experiences. So I really feel that you are holding very strongly, and you have this King of Pentacles in reverse. You are holding very strongly onto your current physical experiences, when with that World card you're needing a entirely different experience and perspective, but emotionally you're not allowing yourself to embrace that change. So that will conclude your 2025 um, Divine Feminine Tree of Life reading. The overall impression, just to reiterate the messages: you, Divine Feminine, personally, you are in a good space. You have good, strong connections with your intimate relationships, so your family and friends. You do have a divine partnership, but the partnership is physically unable to be brought in. You have the Temperance reverse, Emperor reverse, and Lovers reverse. The divine partnership is not able to be brought in. I really feel that it's your partner that's needing to do more work. You have your own work to do, but as it relates to the partnership directly, it's more so on the end of your partner, because they had the Two of Swords present in their energy. The current dynamic of your more distant social connections, which for the sake of this reading, I feel that the majority of divine feminines will connect to that level, will resonate more as it being a coworker interaction. Currently, it's not as attractive to you as you would like it to be, but that dynamic will improve itself. There's not anything that you need to do within that dynamic. That dynamic will improve itself, and then it will start to work better for you. The only disruptions and disconnect you've had has been within your spirituality. You are needing completely different experience, understanding, and perspective, but you're not allowing yourself to open up to that change. And I feel that it's because egoically, it's the change is too radical for you at the time. And so you're needing to release your control over your physical experiences, as indicated by this King of Pentacles in the reverse. You do physically allow yourself to open up to that change, but emotionally, as indicated by the Page of Cups reverse and the Nine of Cups reverse, emotionally you have not, or you are not embracing that change. And so that will have to be the work for you for the next year and even beyond that, because the final card for this entire year's reading was the Nine of Cups in reverse, and that's how the year ends, with you overall being in the Nine of Cups reverse. So, Divine Feminine, that will conclude your reading. I hope you were able to gain some understanding, clarity into your situation. Um, and yes, and that will be for the entire year for 2025 until 2026, and even a bit beyond that, because the readings can have energetic effect of 12 to 18 months. But I would be doing my best to complete more temporally um, shorter readings, meaning monthly, or I'm still considering if I should do monthly or quarterly readings, because honestly, demand the energetic demand is a lot for me. So I'm still deciding if I will be doing monthly or quarterly readings, but you will be receiving shorter temporal readings than this. It won't be for energy dynamics of a full year. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you were able to receive and benefit from this reading. I love you very much, and good night.